Imagine a life where you stop chasing validation, where the noise of the world fades, and your true power rises from within. What if the key to freedom isn't forcing outcomes, but mastering yourself? No one is coming to save you, because the only rescue you need is already inside. Ready to unlock the secret that transforms struggle into strength? The journey begins now. Stay with me, and discover how to reclaim your life on your terms. The hard truth, it cuts deep, but it's one you need to hear. No one is coming to rescue you. No knight in shining armor, no miracle opportunity falling from the sky. The world doesn't owe you a break, a handout, or an applause. And that reality? It's not cruel, it's liberating. Because once you accept this undeniable fact, you stop waiting. You stop hoping for someone else to fix your life, to validate your worth, or to hand you the keys to success. You become the hero of your own story. Think about it. How many times have you sat waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect person, the perfect sign to start living the life you want? How many times have you held back because you thought someone else needed to give you permission to move forward, to speak your truth, to take that leap? Waiting is a thief. It steals your power, your momentum, and your dreams. Here's the wake-up call. The rescue, the breakthrough, the transformation, it's all within you. Nobody else can do the heavy lifting of your growth, your healing, or your hustle. No external force can substitute your commitment to yourself. And that's not a burden, it's the ultimate freedom. When you embrace this truth, something remarkable happens. You stop performing for others. You stop chasing likes, praise, or approval from a world too distracted by its own chaos to notice your struggle. And in that silence, the quiet absence of external validation, you find yourself. Raw, real, unfiltered, and unstoppable. You see, living for others' recognition is a trap. It's a performance that drains you. It builds your worth on shifting sands. One day you're celebrated, the next forgotten. One moment you feel on top of the world, the next invisible. But when you live for yourself, not to impress, not to prove, but because it matters to your soul, you tap into a power that no one can take away. It's the kind of strength that fuels consistency, even when no one is watching. The courage to keep going when the applause fades. The discipline to rise before dawn, to show up at the blank page, to speak your truth when silence seems easier. That's where real freedom begins, not handed to you, but carved out by your own relentless will. This truth also dissolves the toxic need for comparison. When you stop looking to others for permission or validation, you stop measuring your journey against theirs. You reclaim your unique path, your pace, and your purpose. You realize that your worth isn't tied to their approval, but anchored deep within. No one is coming to rescue you, because you were never meant to be rescued. You were meant to rise, to take your power back, to create, to fail, to learn, and to conquer on your own terms. Now hear this clearly. This is not bitterness or despair. It's awakening. The moment you stop expecting the world to save you, you free yourself to become your own savior. And that is the most powerful, most transformative thing you can do. But don't mistake this for going it alone. Real strength isn't isolation. It's owning your story with courage and vulnerability. It's asking for help when you need it, yes, but never depending on it to define you. It's collaborating, building alliances, and connecting authentically, all while standing firm in your own power. No one will carry you across the finish line, but that doesn't mean you have to walk the path in solitude. What it means is that every step forward is yours, every victory earned, every lesson learned, every scar a testament to your resilience. So what stops most people? Why do so many remain stuck waiting for rescue that never comes? Fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. Fear whispers lies, that you're not ready, not enough, not worthy. It convinces you that you need to be saved rather than saving yourself. But here's the paradox. Fear is part of the journey, not a sign to stop. True freedom comes when you act despite fear, when you refuse to let anxiety dictate your story, when you realize that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. Every single person who's ever made a breakthrough has faced fear and uncertainty. The difference is they chose to act anyway. They stopped waiting for perfect conditions or permission. They chose themselves. You can too. You don't need to wait for motivation or inspiration to show up. You become the source of your own drive. You build your own momentum. You cultivate the discipline that carries you when feelings falter. Because the truth is, waiting for external validation is a losing game. The applause isn't guaranteed. The spotlight is fleeting. The people cheering today may forget you tomorrow. but your commitment to yourself, that's permanent. That's the foundation no one can shake. Living like this, owning your power, embracing responsibility, means embracing discomfort. It means getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. It means showing up on the hard days, the lonely days, the days no one notices but you. Because those are the days that define you. Not the days of ease or recognition. You will fall. You will fail. But that's the point. Falling isn't the enemy, staying down is. The warrior mindset is to rise every time you hit the ground, to learn from every stumble, to use every setback as fuel for the fire inside. So ask yourself, how much of your life have you spent waiting for rescue? How much potential is locked behind fear or hesitation? What if you stopped waiting, right now, and started owning your power? The moment you stop waiting for someone else to save you, you give yourself permission to live fully, to dream boldly, to act relentlessly, to become who you were always meant to be. And this is just the beginning, because the next step in this journey is learning how to master your mind, to master your inner critic, and to build the mental strength that will keep you unstoppable. It's about turning resistance into resilience and fear into fuel. Stay with me, because the truth you're about to hear next will change the way you think, act, and live. The rescue you've been waiting for? It's already here. It's you. Your mind. It's the battlefield and the sanctuary. It's where every victory or defeat begins. Mastering your inner world is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Because once you understand this, you realize the most powerful force shaping your life isn't your circumstances, your environment, or even the people around you. It's the landscape inside your own head. If you think the world owes you something, if you believe external validation or rescue will fix your life, you've missed the fundamental truth. Freedom, true freedom, starts within. It starts when you realize you have the power to govern your mind, to steer your thoughts, and to decide how you respond to everything that life throws at you. The mind is not some passive tool. It's an active, dynamic force that can either be your greatest ally or your most relentless enemy. It can lift you to unimaginable heights or bury you in the darkest pits of despair. The difference lies in mastery. Mastering your inner world means no longer letting your thoughts control you. It means no longer being a slave to your fears, doubts, and insecurities. It means training your mind to serve your purpose, not sabotage it. And that journey, it's the most radical, transformative journey you will ever undertake. But let's be honest, mastering your mind is hard work. It's not about silencing every thought or erasing every fear. That's impossible. The mind is designed to generate thoughts, often random, often chaotic. What mastery means is learning to observe those thoughts without being consumed by them. It means cultivating a space between stimulus and response, a space where choice lives. Imagine your mind as a wild horse. It's powerful, unpredictable, full of energy. Left unchecked, it will run you into the ground. But if you learn to harness it, to guide it with gentle firmness, it becomes your greatest strength, your most reliable partner. This is why awareness is the first step. Awareness, the simple act of noticing what's happening inside your head. When you're caught in the storm of racing thoughts, anxiety, or negative self-talk, it feels like you're drowning. But if you can step back and watch those thoughts as a detached observer, the power shifts. Suddenly, you're not lost in the chaos, you're watching the waves. You're no longer the ocean, you're the sky above it. This is the beginning of true control. Because awareness creates choice. When you realize that thoughts are not commands, that feelings are not facts, you begin to decide which mental narratives to entertain and which to release. Let's talk about that inner critic, that voice that whispers you're not enough, not worthy, not capable. That voice can be deafening, and for many, it's the loudest in the room. But here's the secret, that voice is not your truth. It's a conditioned pattern, a relic from past fears and doubts, a survival mechanism turned toxic. Mastery is not about silencing that voice with brute force or denial. It's about acknowledging it without giving it power. It's saying, I hear you, but you don't get to lead. It's responding with compassion, curiosity, and rationality, rather than judgment and fear. This mental mastery is also about resilience. The mind will always challenge you. It will throw doubts, anxieties, and distractions in your path. The question is, do you surrender or do you stand firm? Resilience is built by practicing discipline in your thoughts. Not obsessing, not suppressing, but choosing to focus on what serves you. You train your mind to return to purpose when distraction tempts you, to return to calm when anxiety pulls you under, to return to courage when fear whispers retreat. Think about the power of habitual thinking. Your mind builds neural pathways every time you think a thought, act on an emotion, or react to a situation. If you consistently feed your mind negativity, doubt, and fear, those pathways deepen, making it easier to fall into despair or hesitation. But the opposite is also true. Every time you practice positive self-talk, mindful awareness, and intentional focus, you build new, stronger pathways that support confidence, clarity, and courage. The mind rewires itself through repetition. Mastery is about consciously choosing what to repeat. This is why so many people get stuck in destructive cycles. They let the unconscious mind run the show. But you don't have to. You can become the conscious architect of your inner landscape. Another vital piece of mastering your mind is understanding the nature of emotions. Emotions are powerful, but they're not permanent. They surge, they peak, they fade. When you learn to observe your emotions rather than react to them, you transform from being a victim of feelings to a master of your emotional state. This doesn't mean denying or suppressing your emotions. It means feeling them fully, but not letting them dictate your actions. You don't have to believe every anxious thought or angry impulse. You can acknowledge them, understand what they're trying to tell you, and then decide how to respond. Here's an essential tool: breath. Breath is the bridge between mind and body. When your thoughts spiral, your breath can anchor you back to presence. Slow, deep breathing calms the nervous system, reduces stress, and sharpens mental clarity. Mastery of the mind involves mastering your breath. It's no coincidence that some of the world's greatest thinkers, warriors, and leaders have emphasized breath control as a foundational practice. When you control your breath, you control your state. When you control your state, you control your mind. And when you control your mind, you control your life. Now, mastery is not about perfection. It's about progress. You will have days when your mind races, when fears grip you, when old patterns surface. That's human. The difference is what you do next. Do you succumb, or do you observe and choose again? This is the practice of presence, the ability to be fully in the moment without judgment, without distraction. Presence dissolves anxiety, silences self-doubt, and opens the door to clarity. It's the mental space where creativity, courage, and peace thrive. Presence is not a destination, it's a muscle you build. Meditation, journaling, mindful movement, these are tools to cultivate presence. They help you return to yourself, to the observer within, the silent witness to the constant chatter of the mind. This mastery also requires humility. You must recognize that you don't control everything, the world, others, circumstances, but you do control your mind's response. This is the Stoic wisdom that stood the test of centuries. You have power over your mind, not outside events. It's empowering to realize that no matter what happens externally, you can choose your internal state. That's sovereignty. That's true freedom. But mastery is not isolation. It's connection to your values, your purpose, and your authentic self. When your mind is aligned with your deepest truth, decisions become easier, actions more confident, and life more fulfilling. And here's the powerful ripple effect. Mastering your mind improves your relationships. When you're grounded, calm, and self-aware, you bring peace to those around you. You communicate with clarity. You listen with empathy. You respond instead of react. This is why mental mastery is foundational, not just for success, but for meaning. So what are the practical steps to start mastering your mind right now? First, cultivate awareness. Start noticing your thoughts. Without judgment, observe what runs through your head. Are your thoughts serving you or sabotaging you? Second, practice presence. Use breath, meditation, or simple mindfulness exercises to anchor yourself in the now. Third, challenge your inner critic. When negative thoughts arise, question them. Are they facts or fears? Replace harmful narratives with empowering truths. Fourth, embrace discomfort. Mental mastery isn't about avoiding pain, but facing it with courage and clarity. Fifth, build discipline. Create daily rituals that support mental clarity, journaling, exercise, deliberate rest. Remember, mastery is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate progress. When setbacks come, greet them as teachers, not enemies. And now, as you begin this path to mastering your inner world, prepare for the next step, understanding resistance, that invisible force that challenges your progress but also signals your growth. Master your mind, and you gain the power to face resistance with strength, wisdom, and grace. Because the true warrior is not the one who never struggles, but the one who masters the battle within. Stay tuned. because what you learn next will redefine how you move through challenges, setbacks, and the relentless noise of the world. Your mind is your kingdom. It's time to take the throne. Discipline. To many, it's a dreaded word, a symbol of restriction, of sacrifice, of rigid rules and discomfort. But here's the truth you need to hear. Discipline is not your enemy. Discipline is the gateway to freedom. It's the foundation upon which all real power, all real success, and all real peace are built. When you master discipline, you stop being a victim of your impulses, moods, and distractions. You reclaim control over your life. You stop reacting and start responding. You shift from chaos to clarity. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about self-respect. It's the way you honor the person you're becoming, not the person you were yesterday. Think about the people you admire most. The athletes who wake before dawn to train. The creators who show up to the blank page day after day, whether inspired or not. The entrepreneurs who face rejection and failure, but keep pushing forward with relentless commitment. What sets them apart isn't luck or genius, it's discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your achievements. It transforms desire into reality. It turns dreams into daily habits. Without discipline, motivation is fleeting, a spark that fizzles out. With discipline, motivation becomes fuel that powers you through every challenge, every distraction, every doubt. Here's a powerful insight. Freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want, whenever you want. That's chaos disguised as freedom. True freedom comes from having the strength to choose what you want most over what you want now. It's the freedom to say no to short-term pleasure in service of long-term fulfillment. Imagine a life without discipline. You wake up each day driven by cravings, impulses, and external distractions. Your energy is scattered. Your progress is inconsistent. You're at the mercy of your environment and your emotions. It feels like you're floating, tossed by the winds of chance. Now imagine a life with discipline. You wake up with purpose. You have routines that ground you. You manage your time, your energy, your focus. You say no to distractions and yes to actions that move you closer to your vision. You're the captain of your ship, steering with intention through any storm. Discipline doesn't restrict your life, it expands it. It gives you the bandwidth to create, to explore, to connect. It's the container within which your potential can grow. Without discipline, potential is wasted energy. With discipline, potential becomes your greatest asset. But discipline is not easy. It requires sacrifice. It demands consistency. It calls for courage. It's the decision to do what's necessary, not what's comfortable. The decision to keep going when motivation fades, when doubts creep in, when the world tempts you to quit. And here's the paradox. The more you practice discipline, the less it feels like a burden. At first, it might feel like a cage, but over time, it becomes your liberation. Because discipline builds momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence breeds freedom. Discipline is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. And like any muscle, it can be sore, it can tire, but it grows through challenge. It grows through showing up, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. Let's talk about the myths that hold people back from embracing discipline. Myth number 1. Discipline means perfection. No. Discipline means persistence. It means getting up after you fall. It means progress over perfection. You don't have to be flawless. You just have to be consistent. Myth number 2. Discipline kills creativity. In reality, discipline fuels creativity. Structure gives your mind the space to innovate. When your daily habits are in order, your creativity can flourish without chaos dragging you down. Myth number 3. Discipline is boring. Discipline is the pathway to excitement, the excitement of growth, achievement, and transformation. The boredom is the illusion of comfort that keeps you stuck. Now, how do you build discipline? It starts with small, deliberate actions. Start with your morning. The way you begin your day sets the tone for everything else. Create a morning ritual, whether it's journaling, meditation, exercise, or simply setting your intentions. Guard this ritual fiercely. It's your anchor. Next, embrace the power of routines. Habits free you from decision fatigue. When positive actions become automatic, your energy is reserved for bigger challenges. Set clear, actionable goals. Break big ambitions into small steps. Each small win is a victory that fuels your discipline muscle. Learn to say no. This is one of the most powerful acts of discipline. Say no to distractions, to instant gratification, to anything that doesn't serve your highest vision. Be mindful of your environment. Surround yourself with people, spaces, and resources that support your growth. Discipline thrives in a supportive ecosystem. And here's a crucial point: be kind to yourself. Discipline is not about harsh self-criticism. It's about compassionate commitment. When you stumble, don't punish yourself. Reflect, adjust, and keep moving. Discipline also means mastering your willpower. Willpower is finite. It can be depleted if overused. That's why setting routines and automating decisions are vital. You save willpower for moments that truly count. Remember, discipline is not an external force imposed on you. It's an internal choice. It's saying, I am worth the effort. My dreams are worth the sacrifice. When you embrace discipline, you unlock a new level of freedom. The freedom to live life on your terms, not the terms set by fleeting moods, societal pressures, or distractions. And here's the exciting part: discipline is contagious. When you embody discipline, you inspire those around you. You become a beacon of strength, resilience, and purpose. Discipline sharpens your focus. It clears mental clutter. It aligns your actions with your values. It transforms chaos into order. Imagine the freedom in waking up knowing that no matter what, you have the power to take the next right step. You're not at the mercy of circumstances. You're not waiting for motivation to strike. You are the motivation. The path to discipline is not always glamorous. It's often the quiet, unseen work, the extra push when no one's watching, the early mornings, the late nights, the repeated actions that build momentum. But here's the truth. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has walked this path. There is no shortcut. There is no magic pill. Discipline is the difference between wishing and doing, between dreaming and becoming. So ask yourself, what are you willing to commit to today? What small habit can you start? What distraction can you say no to? What step can you take right now that your future self will thank you for? This journey is not about changing who you are overnight. It's about showing up daily, imperfectly but intentionally. It's about building a life where your actions align with your aspirations. And as you cultivate discipline, you prepare yourself for the next great lesson: managing resistance. Because resistance is inevitable. It will challenge you, test you, try to pull you back into old patterns. But with discipline, you become unshakable. Resistance becomes a signal, not a stop sign. It's an invitation to deepen your commitment, to rise above your fears, to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. Discipline unlocks a power within you that no external circumstance can take away. It frees you from the tyranny of mood, distraction, and doubt. It sounds simple, so start now, but it's one of the most profound acts, not next week now, and transformation. Build your discipline one choice at a time. After mastering because the path to true freedom is paved with consistent, courageous actions. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom. It is freedom's fiercest ally. This isn't about giving up. It's about making space. It's about clearing the clutter that blocks your path. Mental noise, toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, bad habits, emotional baggage. It's the willingness to face what's holding you back and say, this ends here. Because you cannot grow without letting go. You cannot step fully into your future while clutching the weight of your past. Like a tree shedding its leaves to prepare for new growth, you must shed the old to become who you're meant to be. Shedding is not comfortable. It's messy. It's painful. It means confronting parts of yourself and your life that feel familiar, even if they cause pain or stagnation. But it is necessary. Ask yourself, what are you carrying that's no longer yours to bear? What stories, fears, and doubts are anchored in your mind, pulling you down? What routines, distractions, or safe choices are keeping you stuck in place? This isn't about blame or guilt. It's about clarity and liberation. Recognizing that every time you hold on to something toxic or limiting, you're stealing energy from your future. Energy that could fuel your dreams, your joy, your freedom. Imagine your life as a garden. You wouldn't expect a garden to flourish if it's choked by weeds, dead branches, and dried leaves. You clear the garden to let the sunlight in, to nourish the soil, to allow fresh seeds to grow. Your mind and soul are the same. Shedding is your act of gardening, pruning what's dead or diseased so the healthy parts can thrive. Now let's talk about the kinds of things we hold on to, and why. First, limiting beliefs. These are stories you tell yourself about what you can or cannot do. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve success. I'll never be free. These narratives are lies you've inherited or created, but they are not truth. They're chains. To shed limiting beliefs, you must first recognize them. Pay attention to your self-talk. When fear or doubt whisper, ask yourself, Is this my truth or just old noise? Challenge those thoughts with evidence of your strength, your past wins, your potential. Second, toxic relationships. Not everyone in your life deserves your energy. Some relationships drain you, sabotage your growth, or keep you anchored in old patterns. Shedding means setting boundaries or walking away, even if it's uncomfortable. It's not cruelty, it's self-care. When you let go of toxic people, you create room for those who uplift, inspire, and support you. Third, emotional baggage. Past hurts, regrets, anger, and guilt are heavy burdens to carry. They cloud your vision and numb your spirit. Letting go means forgiveness, not for others, but for yourself. It means accepting what happened, learning the lesson, and choosing to move forward free. Fourth, bad habits and distractions. These are the easy escapes that feel good now but steal your future. Procrastination, mindless scrolling, unhealthy coping mechanisms. Discipline helped you see these patterns. Now it's time to cut them loose. Remember, every habit you shed is a brick removed from the wall between you and your freedom. Letting go also means releasing attachment to outcomes. You've worked hard, been disciplined, and yet life doesn't always bend to your will. It's frustrating, yes, but resisting reality only creates suffering. Attachment is the root of disappointment. When you learn to release rigid expectations, to hold your goals lightly and remain open, you find peace. You learn to flow. This doesn't mean passivity. It means intelligent surrender. You act with intention, but you don't choke the life out of your journey by forcing every detail. You trust in your process, your growth, and the timing of your life. Now, you might be wondering, how do I start letting go? How do I shed when it feels so hard, so risky? The first step is awareness. Begin by observing without judgment. Notice what triggers discomfort, resistance, or pain. What thoughts, feelings, or situations make you tense or anxious? That's your clue. Next, get curious. Ask yourself why. Why am I holding on? What am I afraid will happen if I release this? Often the answer is fear, fear of loss, failure, loneliness, or the unknown. But here's the truth. Holding on out of fear only prolongs suffering. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. Create rituals to support your shedding. Write down what you want to release. Speak it aloud. Visualize yourself lighter, freer, more whole without those burdens. This practice trains your mind and heart to accept change. Seek support. Letting go can feel isolating. Share your journey with trusted friends, mentors, or coaches who understand and encourage your growth. Practice self-compassion. You will stumble. Old patterns will resurface. That's normal. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. As you let go, you'll notice a powerful shift. Your energy returns. Your clarity sharpens. You become more present, more alive. You're no longer fighting invisible battles. You're free to focus on what truly matters. And here's the most beautiful part. Shedding is cyclical. Just as nature goes through seasons, your life will flow through phases of growth, release, and renewal. Embrace this rhythm instead of resisting it. Shedding what no longer serves is not just about making space for new things. It's about returning to yourself, to your essence, to your deepest truth. It's the space where your authentic power lives, waiting to be uncovered beneath the layers of fear, doubt, and distraction. From this place, you create not from lack or desperation, but from abundance and freedom. And this transformation prepares you for the next essential step, embracing presence and trust. Because once you shed the excess weight, you must learn to live lightly, to show up fully in the now, trusting yourself and the unfolding of your journey. The power of letting go is not in the act itself, but in what it reveals, a new way to live, a new way to be free. So, as you reflect today, ask yourself, what am I ready to release? What story, fear, or habit is holding me back? And what would it feel like to finally set it down, breathe deeply, and step into the space of freedom waiting for me? This is your invitation to begin. To trust the process of shedding, to welcome the unknown with open arms and an open heart, because your life is too valuable to be weighed down by what no longer serves you. Let go. Live free. Become unstoppable. Presence. It's a word we hear often, but how many of us truly understand what it means to live fully in the now? To inhabit this moment so completely that nothing else, past regrets, future anxieties, distractions, pulls us away. After learning the power of letting go, shedding what no longer serves us, comes the next profound step, showing up fully here, in this moment, with all your mind, body, and soul. Presence is not a passive state. It's a radical act of engagement, a deliberate choice to be awake, aware, and alive to the richness of life unfolding right now. Why is presence so crucial? Because this moment, this very breath, is all we ever truly have. The past is a memory, the future a projection. But right now you have the power to choose. The power to respond rather than react. To create rather than drift. To live, not just exist. Presence is freedom. Freedom from the chains of distraction, from the grip of worries that steal your joy and dilute your power. When you master presence, you reclaim your energy. You stop giving away your focus to noise that doesn't serve you. You root yourself firmly in reality and awaken to life's fullness. Yet, in today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, presence can feel like a rare gift. We're bombarded with endless stimuli, notifications, emails, social media, obligations. Our attention fragments into 1,000 pieces, scattered and shallow. We multitask, rush, and try to cram more into less time, but in doing so we miss what matters most. Imagine how different life would be if, instead of rushing through it, you slowed down enough to taste it, to feel the texture of your experiences, to really listen when someone speaks, rather than planning your response, to savor your meals instead of eating distractedly, to walk with intention instead of on autopilot. Presence turns the ordinary into extraordinary. It transforms moments into memories. It awakens gratitude for the simple things we often overlook. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of a loved one's laughter, the quiet peace of a deep breath. This is not new wisdom, it's ancient truth rediscovered. Philosophers, mystics, and scientists alike have pointed to presence as the foundation of well-being, resilience, and joy. Neuroscience confirms it too. When you focus on the present moment, your brain shifts from the anxious, judgmental me centered in the past or future to a state of calm, clarity, and connection. Stress hormones decrease. Creativity rises. Decision-making sharpens. But presence is a practice, not a one-time event. It requires intention and discipline, the very qualities you've been cultivating. It's about training your mind to come back again and again when it wanders. Because it will wander. That's human nature. Think of your attention like a muscle. The more you strengthen it through presence, the stronger and more flexible it becomes. You learn to notice distractions, gently release them, and return to this moment without judgment. Let's explore some ways to cultivate presence in your daily life. First, start with your breath. Your breath is your anchor to the now. It's always with you, silently guiding you back when your mind races ahead. Take a few moments right now to feel your inhale and exhale. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. This simple act pulls you into presence immediately. Next, bring your senses alive. Wherever you are, tune into what you see, hear, smell, taste, and feel. This sensory awareness grounds you and connects you deeply to life. When you wash your hands, notice the temperature of the water. When you sit outside, listen to the birds or feel the breeze. Another powerful practice is mindful listening. When you talk to someone, really listen. Not to reply or judge, but to understand. Notice their tone, their expressions. This level of presence builds trust and deepens relationships. Presence also means embracing stillness. In our busy culture, we often equate doing with being. But there is immense power in just being, without agenda or distraction. Give yourself permission to pause, to sit quietly, to observe your thoughts without chasing them. Meditation is a proven path to strengthen presence. Even 5 minutes a day can shift your awareness and reduce stress. Find a quiet spot, focus on your breath or a simple mantra, and when your mind wanders, gently return. Physical movement can also enhance presence. Whether it's yoga, walking, or stretching, movement connects your mind and body, pulling you fully into the here and now. Notice the sensations in your muscles, the rhythm of your steps. Presence invites you to live authentically. When you're fully here, you're no longer wearing masks or performing for others. You become genuine, open, vulnerable, and real. This authenticity attracts meaningful connections and opportunities. But presence isn't about escaping discomfort or pain. It's about facing life as it is, without avoidance. That means sitting with difficult emotions, uncertainties, and fears without judgment or resistance. When you hold space for all your experiences, you become resilient, not fragile. This resilience is the foundation of true freedom, the freedom that follows discipline and shedding. Freedom not from challenges, but freedom within them. Now, you might ask, how do I maintain presence when life pulls me in a million directions? The answer is simple but not easy: intention and commitment. Set clear intentions daily. Remind yourself that your attention is your most valuable resource. Protect it fiercely. Create boundaries around distractions. Use tools like timers or do not disturb modes to reclaim focus. Also, cultivate gratitude. Gratitude turns your attention toward what's working, what's beautiful, what's alive. It lifts you out of scarcity and complaint and plants you firmly in abundance. Finally, surround yourself with reminders of presence, nature, art, inspiring people, moments of awe. These awaken your soul and call you back to the now. Remember, presence is a gift you give yourself and the world. When you're fully here, you show up with your best self. You make clearer decisions, express deeper love, and create with more purpose. And the benefits ripple outward. Your relationships deepen, your work gains clarity, your joy expands. But presence is also a doorway to trust. Trust in yourself, trust in life's unfolding, trust in the unknown. Because once you learn to live fully in the now, you realize you don't need to control every outcome. You don't have to force the future to be certain or safe. You can move forward with confidence, even when the path is unclear. Presence teaches you that life isn't about arriving somewhere or having it all figured out. It's about showing up, moment by moment, fully alive. It is the foundation for the next step in your journey. Cultivating trust and surrender, the art of letting life flow through you without resistance. So today, as you listen, make this your commitment, to practice presence every day, to breathe deeply, to see clearly, to feel fully, to be here now, because this moment is your life, and living it fully is the greatest act of freedom you can give yourself. Emotions, powerful, raw, and real. They are the colors that paint our inner world, shaping how we experience every moment of our lives. Yet, for many, emotions can feel like an unpredictable storm, something to be feared, suppressed, or controlled. We live in a culture that often values strength as stoicism, holding it all together, pushing feelings aside, acting like we have it all figured out. But true strength, true freedom, it comes from embracing emotional wholeness, allowing every feeling to have its space, and finding balance amid the chaos within. Embracing emotional wholeness means rejecting the false dichotomy of good versus bad emotions. It means recognizing that every feeling, even those we label as negative, anger, sadness, fear, frustration, holds value and meaning. These emotions are not enemies to defeat, but messengers to understand. They are signals, guiding us toward deeper truths about ourselves, our needs, and our boundaries. After learning to live fully in the present moment, you're now ready for this next vital step, welcoming the full spectrum of your emotions, allowing them to flow through you without judgment, and finding balance that isn't about avoiding pain, but integrating all parts of your inner experience. Why is this so important? Because emotional imbalance leads to tension, stress, and burnout. When we resist or suppress parts of ourselves, we fragment our energy and lose connection with our true power. Over time, this builds inner pressure, a pressure that bursts out as anxiety, depression, anger, or exhaustion. But imagine if you could hold your emotions with curiosity and compassion. Imagine if you could respond to your inner world with kindness, not criticism. This isn't just a hopeful thought. It's a path to emotional resilience and freedom. Start by acknowledging the feelings you often ignore or avoid. What emotions do you tend to push away? Maybe it's sadness that feels vulnerable, or anger that feels dangerous, or fear that feels paralyzing. These emotions don't disappear by ignoring them. They grow louder beneath the surface, demanding attention. Instead of fighting, try listening. What is this feeling trying to tell you? What need lies beneath it? Anger often protects what we care about deeply. Fear often signals where we're about to grow. Sadness can be the doorway to healing. You don't have to fix or change these feelings immediately. Simply allowing yourself to feel without judgment creates a safe inner space. It's like opening a window to let fresh air in, clearing away the stale energy of denial and repression. This acceptance of emotional wholeness is deeply liberating. You stop wasting energy resisting yourself. You become a witness to your feelings rather than a prisoner of them. This shift changes everything. Balance, then, is the art of living with this emotional wholeness. It's not about feeling good all the time. That's unrealistic and even unhealthy. Balance means having the flexibility to move through highs and lows with grace. It's about holding space for joy and pain, confidence and doubt, love and loss, all without losing your center. Emotional balance is like a dance. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. Sometimes you step forward into joy. Sometimes you step back to process grief. And the rhythm of this dance creates harmony. One of the greatest obstacles to emotional wholeness is the cultural pressure to appear strong, successful, and happy at all times. Social media amplifies this illusion, showing only curated highlights while hiding struggles and failures. But real life isn't a highlight reel. It's messy, imperfect, and beautifully human. Recognizing this truth opens the door to compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. You begin to realize that vulnerability is not weakness, but courage. Admitting that you're struggling, that you don't have all the answers, that sometimes you fall apart, that is strength. This courage to be vulnerable creates authentic connection. When you embrace your full emotional reality, you invite others to do the same. You stop pretending and start relating. Relationships deepen, empathy grows, and isolation shrinks. How do you cultivate this emotional wholeness and balance practically? First, develop emotional awareness. Check in with yourself regularly. What are you feeling right now? Where do you feel it in your body? Our emotions often show up physically: tightness in the chest, butterflies in the stomach, tension in the jaw. Naming these sensations grounds you and gives you a foothold in your inner landscape. Second, practice self-compassion. When difficult emotions arise, speak to yourself as you would to a close friend. Offer kindness, understanding, and reassurance. Remember, no one is perfect, no one is immune to pain. Third, allow yourself to express emotions safely. This might mean journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or engaging in creative outlets like art or music. Expression is not about venting wildly, but about honest communication with yourself and others. Fourth, set healthy boundaries to protect your emotional well-being. Saying no to toxic relationships, unhealthy habits, or overwhelming commitments is essential for balance. Boundaries are not selfish, they are acts of self-respect. Fifth, cultivate practices that soothe and regulate your nervous system. Deep breathing, meditation, yoga, or time in nature. These tools help you navigate emotional waves without getting swept away. As you embrace emotional wholeness, you become less reactive and more responsive. You learn to hold your feelings without letting them control you. This emotional mastery is the foundation for mental clarity, inner peace, and purposeful action. But this journey is not linear. Some days you will feel balanced and strong. Other days, overwhelmed and vulnerable. That's the human experience. What matters is your commitment to show up for yourself regardless. This commitment ripples beyond your inner world. It transforms how you engage with life. You make decisions from clarity, not chaos. You communicate with presence, not defensiveness. You move through challenges with resilience, not resistance. Emotional wholeness also fuels creativity and passion. When you accept all parts of yourself, you unleash authentic energy that drives meaningful work and joyful living. And here's the profound truth. Embracing your emotions fully doesn't make you fragile, it makes you whole. It's the cornerstone of true freedom, the freedom to live honestly, deeply, and powerfully. As you step into this space of wholeness and balance, you prepare yourself for the next vital phase of your journey, cultivating unwavering trust. Trust in yourself, in life's process, and in the unfolding unknown. Because living fully in emotional wholeness sets the stage for surrender, not as giving up, but as a powerful flow with life's rhythm, releasing resistance and embracing grace. So today, decide to welcome your full emotional spectrum. Commit to holding yourself with compassion. Choose balance over perfection. Remember, every feeling you experience is a thread in the rich tapestry of your life. And in weaving these threads with awareness and love, you create a masterpiece, your true, vibrant self. Fear. It's one of the most powerful emotions we experience, often misunderstood, frequently feared itself. But what if we reframed fear entirely? What if, instead of seeing fear as a stop sign, a barrier to progress, a force that freezes us in place, we recognized it for what it truly is, a signal. A signal that something important is at stake. A signal that growth, change, or transformation is on the horizon. Fear is not here to stop you. It's here to guide you. Too often we treat fear like an enemy, something to be avoided, suppressed, or conquered. We think that feeling afraid means we're weak, unprepared, or not ready. That fear means danger. That fear means don't go. But the reality is more nuanced. Fear is a deeply human, biological response designed to alert us, not paralyze us. It's a part of your internal navigation system. It's not telling you to turn around, it's telling you to pay attention, to proceed with awareness. Think about the moments in your life when fear first appeared. Was it before a big decision? Before speaking your truth? Before stepping into the unknown? That moment of fear wasn't an arbitrary block, it was a signpost. It said, "This matters." What's on the other side of this discomfort is significant. What separates those who move forward despite fear from those who retreat is how they interpret that signal. They don't let fear dictate their direction, they let it inform their strategy. They don't freeze, they lean in. This shift in mindset is radical. It transforms fear from an obstacle into an ally. And that transformation is at the heart of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to act despite fear, to move forward with uncertainty, with discomfort, with vulnerability, and still choose to keep going. Imagine fear as a threshold, a gatekeeper guarding the path to your fullest potential. The gatekeeper is fierce because what lies beyond is precious and worth protecting. But if you step up, knock firmly, and pass through, on the other side awaits growth, freedom, and power you didn't know you had. Every breakthrough, every moment of profound change, comes with fear knocking at your door. The challenge isn't to silence that knock, it's to answer it bravely. Remember a time when fear whispered in your ear, maybe before a big presentation, a life-changing move, a new relationship, and yet you said yes anyway. You stepped forward, heart pounding, hands trembling. What happened next? Chances are, that moment defined you. You discovered strength you didn't know existed. You rewrote your story about what you're capable of. That's the power of seeing fear as a signal, not a stop sign. But how do you practice this in everyday life? How do you train yourself to recognize fear as a messenger and not a jailer? It starts with awareness. The next time fear arises, don't react immediately. Don't push it away or let it freeze you. Instead, pause. Take a breath. Observe the fear with curiosity. Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to protect me from? What is the real risk here? Is this fear rooted in past experience, or is it the call of something new and unknown? By asking these questions, you begin to unpack fear's message. Sometimes, fear arises from genuine danger, and that's your body's way of keeping you safe. Other times, fear arises from the discomfort of change, the unknown that feels risky but is necessary for growth. Understanding the source of fear allows you to respond intelligently. You can make decisions grounded in reality, not in imagined worst-case scenarios. Another powerful practice is to lean into discomfort gradually. You don't have to jump headfirst into every fear. Small, intentional steps build resilience and confidence. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting even when your voice shakes. Maybe it's reaching out to someone new despite social anxiety. Maybe it's pursuing a passion project even if failure is possible. Each small act of courage rewires your brain, teaching it that fear is not the end, it's the beginning. You start to rewrite the narrative in your mind. Fear stops being a wall and becomes a doorway. This process also requires compassion. Fear can be overwhelming. It can trigger self-doubt and critical thoughts. It can make you question your worth or sanity. When fear feels intense, remind yourself, this is normal. You're not broken or weak for feeling afraid. You're human. Speak kindly to yourself. Recognize that courage is a muscle. You have to flex it regularly for it to grow stronger. Surround yourself with support, people who understand that fear is part of the journey and who encourage you to keep moving. And here's a truth that often surprises people. Sometimes fear never completely disappears. Even the most confident, successful people feel fear. They feel it before a big decision, before a leap, before vulnerability. But they don't wait for fear to vanish, they move forward anyway. That's the mark of true power, not the absence of fear, but mastery over it. When you treat fear as a signal, you reclaim your power. Fear no longer controls your choices, it informs them. You become the one who decides when to move, when to pause, and how to respond. This mastery extends beyond personal growth. It shapes how you engage with the world, your relationships, your career, your dreams. You stop shrinking back to avoid discomfort. You start expanding into your full potential. And that expansion invites new possibilities you never imagined. Now, recognizing fear as a signal also means respecting it. It's not about reckless bravery or ignoring your body's warning signs. It's about balance, honoring fear's message while choosing your path intentionally. Sometimes the right move is to pause, prepare, or seek guidance. Sometimes the right move is to leap with faith. The key is that the choice comes from awareness, not from fear's command. This practice of listening and responding with intention leads to a life lived with presence and power. And as you grow in this mastery, you open the door to the next transformative step, learning how to surrender. Because once you understand fear as a signal and move courageously through it, You realize there are things beyond control, forces, timing, rhythms of life that demand trust. Surrender is not giving up, it's releasing the need to fight what you cannot change, while holding firm to what you can influence. It's the natural progression from mastering fear to mastering flow. So as you reflect on fear today, ask yourself, what is fear telling me right now? How can I honor that message without letting it stop me? What courage can I choose in this moment? Remember, fear is a signal, not a stop sign. It is an invitation to step into your power, embrace discomfort, and grow. And when you answer that invitation, you transform fear from a limit into a gateway to a life of authenticity, freedom, and deep fulfillment. You've faced fear. You've learned to listen to its message. Now it's time to take the next step on this journey, detachment. The kind of detachment that doesn't mean indifference or apathy. Instead, it's the profound freedom that comes when you stop relying on others to validate your worth, your choices, your existence. External validation, that constant craving for approval from others, is one of the most powerful chains that binds us. It keeps us trapped in cycles of pleasing, performing, and proving. We seek likes, shares, compliments, promotions, and applause. We chase the fleeting highs of recognition, hoping it will fill the void inside. But here's the hard truth. No amount of external praise can replace the deep, unshakable sense of self-worth that comes from within. When your happiness depends on the opinions of others, you become a prisoner to their moods, their judgments, their biases. You give away your power. You build your identity on shifting sand. Imagine building a house on a foundation that shakes with every passing wind. That's what it feels like to live for external validation, unstable, uncertain, exhausting. But detachment is the key that frees you from this cycle. Detachment means recognizing that your value is not defined by applause or criticism. It's not measured by how many people notice your success, nor diminished by who overlooks it. Detachment is the courage to stand firm in your truth, even when no one is watching. It's the ability to do what's right for you, not what gains approval. To pursue your dreams, not to impress, but because they ignite your soul. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about others or relationships. It means you care first and foremost about the relationship with yourself. It means your self-worth is rooted in your own integrity, not in the temporary approval of others. When you detach from external validation, something incredible happens. You reclaim your freedom. You stop living according to scripts written by someone else's expectations. You stop editing yourself to fit the mold of what society says you should be. You begin to listen to your values, your intuition, your unique voice. This freedom to be unapologetically you is radical. It's revolutionary. It's the foundation for authentic confidence. Think about the moments when you felt truly alive, when you acted boldly and authentically. Were you worried about how others might judge you? Or were you simply expressing your truth? Those moments of pure presence, unfiltered by fear of judgment, are glimpses of what detachment offers. It's a state of being where your internal compass guides you, not the shifting opinions of the crowd. Of course, detachment is not easy. It challenges years of conditioning. From childhood, we're taught to seek approval, to be good kids, to fit in, to earn love through performance. Social media amplifies this, turning validation into a game of likes and followers. The pressure to be seen, liked, and admired is relentless. And so, we chase external validation like a drug, never quite feeling enough. But no validation from the outside can ever replace the power of validation from within. So how do you begin this practice of detachment? First, start noticing your patterns. When do you seek approval? When do you adjust your behavior out of fear of judgment? When does the need to be seen or liked drive your choices? Awareness is the first step. Next, practice self-validation. Speak kindly to yourself. Affirm your worth. Celebrate your progress, even the small wins that no one else notices. Build rituals that center you, journaling, meditation, moments of silence where you reconnect with your own voice. Remember, your self-worth is inherent. It's not something you earn or lose. Challenge the stories you tell yourself about needing others' approval. Ask, whose voice am I really listening to? Is it mine or someone else's? This inner work is not about isolating yourself or rejecting connection. It's about building a solid core so relationships become choices, not dependencies. When you're grounded in self-worth, you attract people who honor your authenticity, not just your image. You also become resilient to criticism and rejection. Because when your foundation is strong, external opinions are just that, opinions, not definitions. There's a profound peace in this. You stop bending to fit in. You stop wearing masks. You show up fully, with your imperfections, your quirks, your strengths. And in that showing up, you inspire others to do the same. Detachment invites you to live with intention, to choose actions aligned with your deepest values, rather than the approval of the crowd. This creates a ripple effect. Your life gains clarity and purpose. Your energy is spent on what matters, not on chasing fleeting praise. As you practice detachment, you'll notice freedom growing. Freedom from the need to compare yourself. Freedom from the exhaustion of pleasing everyone. Freedom from the fear of not measuring up. And with that freedom comes joy, a joy that doesn't depend on external circumstances, but rises from within. Now, detachment is a lifelong practice, not a one-time achievement. There will be moments when old habits pull you back, when the urge for approval sneaks in. But each time, you get to choose. You get to come back to your center, your truth. And with practice, that center becomes unshakable. The wisdom of the Stoics teaches us this well. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that external things are beyond his control and not the source of his peace. Seneca urged us to focus on what we can govern, our minds, our responses. Their ancient teachings echo across time because the need for internal validation is eternal. So ask yourself, where are you still giving your power away? What parts of your life are governed by the need for external approval? And what would it feel like to reclaim that power, to build a life based on your own values, your own truth? Imagine waking up each day free from the chains of comparison and judgment. Imagine making decisions rooted in your purpose, not in the fear of rejection. Imagine living authentically, fully, and courageously. This is the gift of detachment. It is not about detaching from love, connection, or ambition. It's about detaching from the need for others to define your worth. It's about owning your life on your terms. It's about stepping into your freedom. As you move forward, keep this in mind. Detachment sets the stage for true peace. True peace that doesn't wobble with every compliment or criticism. True peace that stands firm in uncertainty. True peace that is rooted deeply in who you are, not who the world wants you to be. And from that peace flows the ability to surrender, to trust life's process without needing to control every outcome. The journey from mastering fear to embracing detachment naturally opens the door to surrender. Because once you're free from the chains of external validation, you can finally let go. You can release the need to force, to fix, to prove. You can flow with life, responding with grace, presence, and trust. So step into detachment, own your worth, and prepare to embrace the profound power of surrender. Now that you've faced your fears, recognize them as signals, not stop signs, and embrace detachment from the need for external validation. It's time to integrate these truths into your daily life. Because knowledge alone changes nothing. Transformation happens when insight turns into action. Integration means weaving these lessons into your everyday choices, how you think, how you act, and how you respond to the world around you. It means living intentionally, grounded in your values, yet flexible enough to adapt when life challenges you. So, what are the practical next steps? How do you move from understanding to mastery? First, cultivate awareness. Start each day with a simple check-in. Ask yourself, what fears might show up today? Where might I unconsciously seek approval? What attachments could hold me back? Awareness is the foundation of change. Next, practice presence. Don't let your mind pull you away from the moment. Bring your attention to your breath, your body, your surroundings. This anchors you in reality and reduces the power of anxiety and distraction. Then develop discipline, not as punishment, but as empowerment. Create small routines that honor your goals and values. It could be journaling, mindful movement, or setting boundaries on social media. Discipline builds resilience and strengthens your ability to stay true when external pressures rise. Also, embrace detachment by affirming your inherent worth daily. Remind yourself, I am enough, regardless of others' opinions or outcomes. Let go of the need to control what you cannot, and focus your energy where it truly matters, on your growth. Remember, surrender is the next frontier. After mastering fear, detachment, and discipline, surrender teaches you to trust life's flow without forcing outcomes. It's a deep collaboration with the universe, grounded in patience and presence. Begin by observing when resistance arises, notice your impulse to control or push, and choose to soften instead. Let go without giving up. It's a practice that unfolds over time, requiring courage and compassion. Finally, connect with community. Find those who support your authentic self, who encourage growth without judgment. Share your journey, your struggles, and your victories. Growth is never meant to be solitary. The path ahead isn't always easy, but it is worth it. Each step you take toward mastery reclaims your power. You move from reaction to response, from fear to freedom. So stand tall, breathe deep. Commit to this journey, not for applause or approval, but for you. For the life only you can live fully, freely, authentically. Your transformation begins now. You've come this far. You've faced your fears, embraced detachment, and committed to discipline. You've stepped into presence and begun the journey of surrender. Now it's time to seal this transformation with a powerful affirmation, one that anchors your strength and fuels your forward momentum. Repeat after me. I am the author of my life. I am not defined by others' opinions or by fleeting circumstances. I choose freedom over fear, presence over distraction, and growth over comfort. Every challenge I face is an opportunity to rise stronger. I honor my journey, no matter how uncertain, because it is mine alone. Say it with conviction. Let these words sink into your bones. Because this is not just a mantra, it's a declaration of your power. Your freedom begins here, not in some distant future, but in this very moment, this breath, this heartbeat. Understand this clearly. The world will never hand you your dreams on a silver platter. No one owes you recognition, applause, or even understanding. And that truth, it's your greatest liberation. Because now, you don't need permission to be extraordinary. You don't need validation to be worthy. You don't need anyone's approval to live boldly. This is your call to action. No more waiting. No more chasing invisible trophies. No more shrinking to fit others' expectations. Step into your power. Own your story. Build your life on your terms. Take the lessons from this journey and put them into motion. Face your fears with courage. Practice discipline with compassion. Let go of what weighs you down. Show up fully in every moment. And surrender with trust, knowing the path unfolds as you walk it. Share this message with someone who needs it. Like, comment, subscribe. Engage not just for the algorithm, but to become part of a movement. A movement of real people waking up to their own power, rewriting the narrative, and reclaiming their lives. Remember, transformation is not a destination. It's a daily choice. A commitment to show up when it's hard, to speak your truth, to create your reality from a place of strength and authenticity. So right now, take a deep breath and decide, will you live by reaction or by intention? Will you surrender to fear or rise above it? Will you wait for change or be the change? The choice is yours. The power is yours. You are ready. You are worthy. And the world is waiting for what only you can offer. Make your move. Start today. Own it. Because when you do, nothing and no one can stop you.